Carini is a town and comune in the province of Palermo, Sicily, 21 kilometres by rail west-northwest of Palermo. It has a population of 37,752. On the coast are some ruins of the ancient Hyccara, the only Sican settlement on the coast. It was stormed and taken by the Athenians in 415 BC, and the inhabitants, among them the famous courtesan Lais, sold as slaves. At La Grazia, Christian catacombs have been found. The first historical mention of a bishop of the see is in two letters of Pope Gregory the Great, in the 6th century, one addressed to Bonifacius of Reggio Calabria, the other to Barbarus of Carini. But many signs, including local catacombs, show that a Christian community existed at Carini from the 3rd century. A lead seal bears the name of a Felix, bishop of this see. One of Gregory the Great's letters show that the diocese was incorporated into that of Reggio Calabria in September 595, but by 602 it was again under its own bishop. A Bishop John of the See took part in a synod at Rome in 649. The last testimony to its existence dates from the 8th century, and the Muslim conquest of Sicily, which began in 827, brought it to an end as a residential bishopric. As a result, Carini, Hyccara, Hycram is today listed by the Catholic Church as a titular see. Tourism and retail. SUCA tourism is an important part of Carini's economy. Carini's lure for tourists is based mainly on shopping, but also in its possession of other ancient and modern attractions. Carini has one of the biggest shopping areas in Sicily called the Zona Industrial, where more than 10 big shopping centers can be found. The Zona Industrial attracts people from the surrounding areas and beyond, especially during weekends and the summer season. Carini has two shopping malls, including one of Sicily's largest, Centro Commercial Poseidon. The other shopping mall is called La Galleria del Risparmio. Military architecture. Carini Castle. The building was erected in the late 19th and early 12th century, certainly on a previous Arab construction, by the first Norman feudal lord Rodolfo Bonello, warrior in the retinue of Count Roger. The excavations carried out during the recent restoration, both in the east and in the north. They have surfaced walls of earlier times to the Norman. The castle has a large courtyard, where there is the residential structure made primarily in two elevations. The ground floor consists of a room with a cross vault that contains a wall in stone, which originally served as the exterior wall. In this are visible windows and a pointed front door with splays of the old medieval structure. A large hall divided by two pointed arches with the central column, the private chapel where you can admire a beautiful wooden tabernacle of the first decade of 600, with Corinthian columns that mark prospectively space. Outside the chapel, a portal giving access to the bastion, where the remains of a perimeter wall are visible. The second floor, reached by an outside stone staircase Bigliemi, architect Matteo Carnalavari, comprises the ballroom, classic example of 15th century room with coffered wooden ceiling, fireplace adorned with the emblem of La Grua, and large windows with leaning seats, and from the sleeping area, composed of frescoed rooms, where you can admire a beautiful 18th century decorated hall that characterizes the alcove. A small circular staircase leads to the kitchen, while another adjoining rooms on the upper floors. For the west side there is access to an area called Foresteria. A staircase leads to the castle tower Amail, the continuous tower with a wooden gallery from which a mullioned window with the emblem of Abbey can observe the south side of the country. Here is the time to cross with plumes, also ending with Bigliemi stone, a scale which no longer exists, allowing the output to the battlements of the tower. From a door characterized by an arched lancet, you exit into a small terrace, recently created, which allows to observe the city. Coastal defensive towers or muzzer, built in the 17th century and located on the coastal strip in Pirinetto area. Internal defensive towers to the territory Franco Tower, built in the 17th century and located close to the Villa Grazia di Carini. Guardiola Tower, built in the 17th century and located near Zucco Fund. Tower of Life, built in the 18th century and located near the historic center. Defensive towers incorporated into beams, tower and trapbalio, the first of which was built in the 13th century and incorporated in the beam in the 16th century. Located on the coast in places Carbarangeli. Tower and beam Hyccara, built in the 16th century and located on the coastal strip in locations Hyccara. Tower and beam Maliote, built in the 16th century and located near the coast in places Maliote. Tower and beam Aiello, built in the 18th century and located near the village of Olives Park. The Farm Zucco complex, built in the 18th century, surrounded by 4 towers, famous for its wines. Main sites: